This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it. The fact.
And now you're...
Hey, Josh and I are here just talking about people and the crazy world we live in these days. I've been listening to, I found Oliver Anthony on YouTube maybe a couple days before it kind of broke, and I think that's a great anthem for where we're at. The government wants to know what you do, wants to know what you think. I might have reversed those lines. I keep messing it up when I'm singing in the Jeep, but who cares? Nobody can hear me.
Hold on, you sing in the Jeep?
Josh, shut up.
I never pegged you as a singer.
Shut up.
I want to hear this.
You're never going to get to Joe Rogan's status.
No, I never.
This thing launches, the first thing, I get a big deal. Boom.
You're cutting me?
I'm bringing in Bryson. You're fired. I'm bringing in the youth.
Because typically when you make the big deal, you take your team with you, right? And then
Bryson.
you keep the whole formula going, and then you pay me a bunch of money to run this thing, and then...
No, I promised you. I won't break my promise.
I'm
like,
what?
if you freaking make this thing big, I don't freaking know.
Right. Well, we work on it every day, and that's why we're here. So share it with your friends. Share it with this podcast is important. We cover a lot of topics, so make it happen, ladies and gentlemen.
But I think that's a great anthem. I was kind of clicked on it. I don't usually click on a lot of things, but something on that thumbnail, I clicked on it, and I was like, this song is awesome.
Yeah.
And everybody's out there doing something. Warrior Poet John Lovell did a thing on the lyrics explained, and I like that guy a lot. But I was like, I don't really need these lyrics explained. I know
what he's saying.
The Northmen north of Richmond. I know the rich men north of Richmond. I know who they are. But this is just kind of crazy. We're coming up on election, and I just really encourage people to freaking get their head out of their butt. I'm so tired of people burying their head in the sand. I really don't have much tolerance for it anymore. I'm like, you've got to be engaged. There's too much crap going on.
Yeah.
With big government, and there's always the elitist people. I mean, I think we've got some decent candidates. We've talked about a few here.
Did you watch any of the debate?
No, I was actually working.
Yeah, so I was working and watching it, and I was thinking to myself, like, it started off with a whole bunch of, they played that guy with the Richmond North.
Oh, today?
Yeah, and they kind of had some of these pop culture conservative things pop up when they would set it up, and it didn't feel like a debate. It felt like just a show.
Well, that's what I listened to. I'm going to hack his name, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
He's on the Sean Ryan podcast, and Sean's like, if you are this type of person, you don't want to read from a teleprompter, you don't want the 5-minute narrated soundbite on the local news or whatever, you want to come in and do long form, I am open, left, right, middle. So I just started listening to him.
Yeah.
I think he's got some possibilities.
Sure.
I'd still like Kennedy.
It was interesting show. You can tell Fox put a ton of money into it. That's all I'm going to leave it at. They put a ton of money into it.
I'm just so sick. I'm just so sick of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big stuff. I'm sick of these you just have to be ultra rich to run.
Everybody up there was wealthy in some way.
Yeah.
And
so I think we need to get it back to the people. There's way too much going on here. Health insurance costs too much. College costs too much. They're not fixing it. Colorado's got this huge inflation as a business person. I mean, everybody should be concerned, but being a small business owner, I'm really concerned. There's a lot of things that we need to fix, and they just don't ever get fixed.
No, and it was a bunch of lip service with sound bites, and one of Ramaswamy actually said that. He goes, all of you guys are making your sound bites and stuff like that. He was too, and it's just interesting to hear the cattiness. It was catty. That was the best.
Yeah, I caught the after action.
Yeah, right.
A little bit, and some here and there, but I'm like, oh, it's just such a show.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it all.
I was just going to put it off for tomorrow. Like I was sitting there last night. I'm going to put this off until tomorrow and watch the highlights. Because trying to sit through it was just,
well, it keeps me awake.
Yeah.
Like I said to my, I'm like, all right, we gotta do you really want to keep watching this after action? I know she kind of must have forgotten or been doing stuff and didn't have it on a lot of times. Like when I come home from work, she'll have on a debate when it's that time of year or season, and I was like, oh, this is just going to keep me awake and just make me mad.
I'm gonna sit here and just think
I'm just
about it
going to
all
be
night.
awake. Like, yeah, I think I might have been someone awake. I don't know what I was awake about, but last night. But I think people just want to bury their head in the sand,
Yeah.
and I've got no tolerance for it.
Yeah, you were talking.
I don't. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm old and grumpy.
Yeah.
I spent like, I don't know, the career, like being a coach. I think that takes a lot out of me. And you had mentioned something about like, really, my wife was way better at so many other things because I'm like, I am just so burnt out at the end of the day that she's way better at kid stuff and anything like that.
Yeah, women seem to have a lot more patience than I do. Like,
I don't know
on my
about
better
patience, but they're just like I think a lot of men just don't want it. We're not suited for that. I think like single dads, it's really hard, and
Sure.
that's we kind of parent our kids jointly but separately. Like that step parent thing is a tough
That's a
thing
challenge.
to navigate. But do think women are way better at a lot of things than men.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Oh my God, you can't be.
Hey, go live on an Indian reservation where they make sure they still divvy up stuff between like gender roles, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
like a bunch of students had a problem with that because there would be people there that like women only do cooking, and that's
When you
perfectly
lived on the
acceptable. Yeah,
reservation?
and that
What
was
year was
perfectly-
that?
Oh, this is 2011. There's a few in there. It's between 2009 and 2015.
How old were you?
Oh gosh, 30 something at the time.
30 something at the
Yeah.
time.
And it really messed with a lot of younger students. I was on the older end of it, right? Because I was almost at midlife, and a lot of these students were 18s, 20s, and they were just totally aghast by the idea that that group would do such a thing. We would actually tend the fire and then cook the meat while the women would do the frying and the other stuff. It was just really the men's job to make sure the fire was burning. But warriors versus women is what they would break it down to, and it just freaked them out.
Yeah.
But the group there was really, I mean, they were comfortable with it. Everybody knew their role, right?
Yeah.
So I tip my hat to them. They get some stuff down.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. And then you have women that can be warriors. I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah. You
it's,
got men that can
people
cook.
get too tied to crap. I'm like, stop getting so tied to whatever the heck it is, and it's gonna be the freaking end of the world. Like, oh my
And that's
God.
what it was with the students. I can't believe they're doing this. How do we change it? Right? And it's like, hold on, you're not here to change anything, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get
I think
involved.
like everything, I don't know. You got a bad grade and it's the end of the freaking world. Like, whatever.
Fix it. Like
It's
if you're,
not.
yeah. I've struggled in the middle of something yeah.
Get good grades, kids. But seriously, like, okay, it's not the end of the world. Let's move on. Let's fix it. You messed up. Who cares?
Get the next one. That's like the coach mentality.
Yeah, and I think that's something we did on a short that I'm like, people just put things off.
Yeah, you've been telling me that a lot.
Like you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And I
Yeah.
think that's just a great thing from Stoicism.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been saying it for years. Like I don't know if I'm going to get hit by a bus,
Right?
and I got to remind myself. Like I mean, I've been saying it for a long time that you're like this is frustrating me, this or whatever, and you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But we can get in our own head. You get frustrated at kids being kids, and that type of thing, and.
What battle's worth fighting, right? I mean, you got to pick those battles, especially with kids. I don't have kids, so it's easy for me to say these things, right?
You're just
But-
like,
Yeah.
nobody can decide what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's go out to eat after the football game, and nobody can freaking
Decide
decide.
where they want to go, and it
To
happens.
the point where my wife will get aggravated. Now we're going home, and I'm like, great. Now we're going home for leftovers.
Five Guys, let's go.
I don't want to go there, Josh. Like,
Don't worry, they can make it
but,
without a bun
yeah,
for
I
you.
mean, I just got like, you're just like, why did I get frustrated about it? Like,
Yeah.
I was even like,
Yeah.
and you're like, can we just everybody get along? But Yeah, life is tough. It's tough to navigate. Are you doing it right?
Yeah.
As a parent, you get, am I doing things right? Should I say this, say that?
And then the question, like, did I say this right, or did I do this after the fact, right? I mean, that's got to be the toughest part, is like trying to come up with an answer, but it's the, oh crap, did I give the right answer later? Like going through that later and
Yeah,
figuring out
and I
whether you
think
did it
if
right
you
or
are
wrong.
thinking that as a parent, like, oh, am I doing a good job? You probably are doing a good job. Stop beating yourself up. It's if you don't say,
Right.
God, am I screwing up my kids?
Yeah.
If that never enters your freaking head, then you're a terrible parent.
Hey, I can see it, right? Like,
Right? Like
what
if
have I
that's
done?
like if you're not like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? Should I spend
Yeah.
more time with them? Oh, is whatever the woe is, if that's not entering your head,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're probably screwing some stuff up. And if you're worried about it and it's keeping you up at night, go to sleep. You're probably doing a good job.
Yeah.
You're trying your best, but people put things off. It's so often that people tell me, oh, this week's really hectic this month and that and this. It's always something.
You
You
talking
gotta
about like
just,
potential customers? They call you
yeah,
and you're like,
they
hey,
want to get in shape. They clicked on the ad, they clicked on the website, whatever they did. They followed a link from YouTube. They're on the page. They take the time to put their name and their phone number in there, and you call them, and I'm busy.
yeah,
Or they don't return your call. It's
yeah, that
amazing the
one's
people
crazy.
that they don't text message you back.
Mm-hmm.
I do crazy ones after, like, hey,
Right, to catch the
real
attention.
person, not a bot.
Yeah,
Smoke signals coming your way. Like, what's the best way to communicate with you?
right.
To, like, hey, man, I don't want to waste your time, but my time is money. Are you there?
Yeah,
Do you want me to keep calling you? You had an interest in my gym.
right.
But people are always putting it off. And you don't know if you're going to get tomorrow. And you keep putting it off, putting it off. Like everything well intentioned, you just got to make the time.
And
And
you're 30 days down the road now and still asking the same, like still saying the same things, right? Like I'll do it next
yeah,
month.
I'm going to do it next month. I'm
'Cause
going to get to it.
Tomorrow's
You
the
have
biggest
to
lie.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow's the biggest lie. You
Yeah.
don't know if you have it. And do your best. Your tomorrow is going to be better. Next week,
Is always
like I'm so hectic at work, your mental mindset is going to be so much better
yeah,
because you're exercising. It's like so often people just neglect that side and they grind away and they neglect the mental side of themselves of just I need to relax or do something fun, learn a new skill. Whatever it is, even our fitness side, you're learning how to hang power clean. Hey, it makes you think a little bit. It's
Sure.
just not, even though I think push-ups, take a lot of effort and, people neglect, oh, it's just a push-up. But, to dial it in.
and do it right. It's so challenging after just 10. I mean,
Yeah,
for
I
most,
mean, like you're not even doing them right. Oh yeah, I know how to do that. Just to think about how your body moves.
yeah,
It's learning a new skill, quote unquote, and it can be just a good release. Just like go play tennis. I have no idea why I come back to tennis a lot. I think it's because I drive by a tennis court every
every day.
single day.
It's
a couple
it's
times.
it's exercise, but it's like that, like an easy exercise. I mean, I say that now, but I also don't play tennis. So, but as far as the sports go, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems
How
like
about
it's
tennis? How about tennis?
okay. With
With people on the side, we call them rovers. In
here it
different
goes.
drills at the
Yeah.
gym, and then the rover can attack you randomly.
inside the game,
Yeah.
uh,
Would that be more fun? I might
I
play
call
it then.
full.
Like you're boom,
Yeah, yeah.
boom, and
Oh,
all of a sudden, boom, somebody throws a headlock on you and throws you to the ground.
Johnson,
Starts trying to-
like Johnson full guard, but he's still hitting the ball from the ground. This is amazing. Like play by playing that would be so hard. I would love
Like
it.
that would be a better game. No, tennis is like it's
Tennis
fun.
is hard.
Different thing. Yeah, it
tennis
takes
is a heck of a
skill and
sport.
takes practice. There's so
Oh,
many
yeah.
things that are just great. Like go out and find your thing.
Yeah.
People put it off.
Oh,
and
now that you said it, is golf a sport?
it's hard.
Okay, I'm just asking because there's some people out there that are like, golf's not a sport.
There's technique involved.
There you have it. That's
You're
all I want.
walking. Some people can't even freaking walk around the golf course.
Think
Like,
about Charles Daly, like smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, playing the game of his life, totally faded the night before and winning, right?
yeah, and God, I mean, and again,
Oh, it's so funny.
like you said,
Yeah.
when I got mad at you, We're
Uh-oh.
saying, why am I doing all this damn exercise if I have to eat right?
Right?
If you're on the golf course and you're drinking beers and then you're in the clubhouse after, that minimal walking around, which is better than freaking
Nothing.
sitting on your
Yeah.
freaking ass, but you just negated all that
All that
walking
work.
around by like 50-fold. Like
Yeah.
you just drank so many calories.
You know,
It's unfreaking believable.
I have conversations with my wife where we're like, well, what do you want to eat? And it's like, well, we just finished working out, so let's try not to undo it all, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't undo
don't
it.
undo it. We could technically be in a calorie deficit if we do it right today. Maybe lose a little weight, right? But there's those days where it's suddenly like you're sitting in front of a giant hamburger or food that's not the best, and the only way you really get that's to make it at home, and that's what we've been doing, right? Don't undo the work.
Yeah, don't God go.
I'll
don't
start
have to
dieting
eat.
tomorrow. How often do you hear that? I'll start dieting tomorrow.
Oh
too.
yeah, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do everything tomorrow. And we all put off things that we don't like. I mean, I was lucky that I grew up like lifestyle. I was playing baseball as a kid. We're always out playing. We were not. I mean, I definitely watched cartoons and different things. I don't
Sure.
know at what time. Was it before school? I don't know. But I know we were out playing. Like, we played baseball in our yard. Like, we had bases worn into the grass, so we didn't
Yeah.
even have to have bases out there. We were doing something, riding our bikes. But and that's just a whole nother thing. But I grew up, and then I got into, moved to Nantucket Island, started playing football, and then obviously you're starting to work out in the off season and lift, and it's been part of my lifestyle. So that's easier for me. Starting something different is always hard, but you just have to start.
Yeah.
You can't put it off, and you're going to make it an excuse, but you're going to feel better, or you're going to be safer. Everybody, there's the, shit hits the fan, people out there, and it could.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of people that want to deny that, and, again, have fun with
with
that.
It's
Have
your new
fun
t-shirt.
with denying
it's
that.
your new t-shirt. Have fun with that.
Like-
John Hallett.
Like, what am I going to do if I run out of bullets?
Keep fighting.
Yeah, keep fighting, or, I don't know, have fun with that.
Right? Well,
I don't know
when John
what
Wick
to
runs
do
out of
now.
bullets, he throws the gun and starts fighting.
Throw, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I think, you're like, oh shit. I think it's why I throw knives at you occasionally.
Yeah.
And Bill, like that, even though I'm the bad guy, I can't help sometimes. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Just keep
because
going,
It
like-
shocks that you have to get off the X,
Yeah.
which you guys keep failing at.
We're working on it. At least we acknowledged it.
Was, throwing the knife at you. You're like, oh shit, I have a knife and they have a gun. Fuck this.
Right.
I'm throwing it. I think that's the first time I swore on the podcast.
No, you did it
Besides
last week,
that,
too.
I did. What did I
You
say?
ran
Did I
me.
get pissed?
Yeah, you were into a rant and you were like, oh, here he goes. Here he goes. But it's so far into the podcast.
Yeah, nobody listened that
Right,
far.
they don't go that far anyway.
Nobody even made it that far in.
So I have two nephews, and they started in sports, and my niece started in sports very early in life. And the thing I've noticed about them is they accomplish things, right? They know they have to, when they start something, they have to finish it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids I've run into in this world that start a million things but never finish one, right? And it's like, you don't gain confidence unless you can complete something. Because completing something gives you something in confidence because you know that you can finish it, right?
Yeah.
And that seems to be big. And then I start to see that in sports. Like, they get that really early as a kid, right? And you've got to give them something to do, whether it be math or stuff like that. But putting them in a sport really helps. So if you've not put your kids in like a Krav Maga class, if you're homeschooling and stuff like that, there's a ton of confidence that one gains just by going and completing something, getting to that belt, getting to those
accomplishing that
milestones.
belt. It's
Yeah.
great for kids that haven't found their sport, is what I say all the time. If you're homeschool or otherwise, it's a great thing for kids, and it's a great thing for kids that do sports. I know I was a cocky football player. I don't know how to freaking fight. I know how to scrap. I don't know how to fight. You think you do. You're all freaking boy about it.
Yeah, and you're big and strong. And
But you didn't know how to freaking fight. And
Yeah.
you're better off than the kid that never played a contact sport.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But you still didn't know how to fight.
yeah.
So I think it's great for all kids to do at least a year of some self-defense, if not longer. You're just going to be that much better. Keep it. It's a lifestyle. You know, you can continue to get better
Yeah.
at whatever it is. But oh, I've got a Ninja Boy story for you.
Okay.
Speaking of throwing knives, like one time, a long time ago, Ninja Boy, Chris Cranstone. I don't know. He should be out of the army. I don't know if he re-upped. I haven't seen him back
Call
in
him
Colorado
Ninja
in a
Boy. I
while.
love this.
Yeah,
earned
he
the
was
nickname.
gifted, and it kind of goes on to a whole nother, like, he did work hard, but he was gifted. And
Wow.
you're like telling a kid, hey, you're gifted, isn't the best way. Actually,
Right.
Huberman just did a thing. You know, don't say like, oh, Josh, you got an A because you're smart. You're a smart kid. No, you work hard. That's the, you know,
Yeah.
hey, you're working really hard. I can see your progress. That's why you got an A. It's
Yeah.
not, I'm gifted. I'm super athletic. You know, that'll blow them up when they fail. Like, wait, I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be super athletic. So Huberman does a really good podcast on it. I think Dion had posted it. Like, hey, this is a good one. It was on my downloads to listen to. But it's a lot of things like coaching kids. Like, yeah, keep working hard. Keep working hard.
Yeah.
Or like Ninja Boy, I would tell him he was doing shit wrong.
that didn't screw
Just
with
to
him? I
mess
mean,
with him. Yeah, I screwed with him. He was a good freaking athlete. You'd be like, I don't know. Do that again. What'd you do there?
Yeah.
Well, and just you had to mess with him a little bit to like question himself. Like, did I do it right? Because he was freaking gifted. He'd
Right,
do
he's, like,
stuff like the
executing.
first time, and you're like, great. I had to do that like 100,000 times. You're just doing it on the first time. You know, to like push him as an athlete. Like, do that again. What'd you do there? Why'd you do that?
Right.
Oh, no. Oh, do it again. And is he going to change it, or is he going to stay the same?
Yeah.
Does he really know he did it right? You know, challenging him that way.
Sure.
But one time he messed with me. I don't even know what it was. Obviously knife. I had a knife. I have no idea why. But I think I disarmed the knife probably.
Yeah.
And now he goes over to where all the bats are and sticks. And he grabs a stick. Now, if you know anything about fighting, rock, paper, scissors, stick beats knife. Right? Like, you know, gun beats stick and knife. Right? Like, so he knows he's gotten me kind of beat.
Yeah.
Even though I disarmed, and he's like now coming at me with it. Now I could have done a lot of things. You could have defended the stick and kept the knife, but as he's coming at me, I just went, boom, and threw the knife at him, and wasn't being so nice.
Yeah. Really?
Like in some horse, and was going for him, and I hit him right between the eyes.
Whoa.
I mean, part of me was like. I'm like, it was a little bit no mind, not thinking. If I aimed, I probably would have freaking hit him in the eye. But it was don't think, you know, it was just unconscious. And he was like, holy shit. Just hit me between the eyes. And I was like,
Don't
I'm
put
glad
out
I
an
didn't hit him in the freaking eyeball.
eye.
I'm really glad I didn't just.
He's like,
freaking
oh my
do
gosh, you did
damage to his
amazing.
eye.
And John's like, oh no.
I'm like, oh, that was freaking lucky as can be. But he was like, holy crap. Like,
And he loved it.
and I was like, what do you do? What do you go for the stick? Like, you're being a jackass. Like
You
sure,
lost.
fine. But I'm like, I'm outgunned right now. Why wait for him to get any closer? Freaking
right. Take the
throw a
advantage.
knife at him. But
Ninja Kid sounds like he was a lot of fun. Ninja Boy?
Ninja Boy. Ninja Kid.
Ninja Kid.
he's really like Ninja Man now. Like,
Right.
he's freaking old. He used to want a statue in front of the old gym. I was like, oh. He's like, will you do a statue for me? And he was going into the arm. Well, he went to VMI,
Yeah.
Virginia Military Institute, and I was like, if you die in combat,
Maybe.
no. I was like, it might be small.
Right. We're talking like
I don't
this.
know how much GoFundMe? It might be a small statue, but if you die in combat defending our country, then I'll do
Yeah,
it. But I'm like,
that
I'm not
was-
just gonna give you a statue for
Right.
being Ninja Boy, but
Right.
he was funny. He was.
Sounds like he was fun.
Yes, he walked into a lot of my jokes, so it was
perfect.
always fun.
That's always fun. What's it like when you, as you're teaching kids, you're mentoring, and you're doing all this stuff, and you run into a natural, right? Like, how do you balance that? Because you know they're good, and like you're talking before, you don't want to overinflate that ego, right?
Yeah,
And you got to keep them humble, more humble than the others, I guess, would be like the thing you'd be doing, right? Because I've never really been in a deep coaching position like that before. So
Yeah, I mean, when you
it's
get
like,
some kid that's really gifted,
yeah,
it can be hard. Hopefully, from the instructor, you get somebody else that they can partner with.
mm,
Sometimes you have to move those kids up,
mm,
even sometimes a little bit before. It's hard. Like, who's in your gym?
mm,
Be like, how many kids do you have? Being in a smaller town and trying to keep our balance in the gym too. Of like, I don't want to. Sometimes like as a bit, if you make it too cheap, then you're going to get a ton of people in there, and then your class is coming down.
mm,
And people don't realize that they want to cheat. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to cut it off, and there's so much business aspect to that.
I bet,
But
yeah.
we try to keep it, in a moderate level that classes aren't just overwhelmed with kids. Um, so when I get a kid that's good, I'll humble them, and just really tweak it and expect a higher level from that kid.
Mm,
I have a couple kids now that they're really good, and I'm like, hey, fix that. Hey, you're over rotating on your pivot for a round kick. You're taking that coaching point and doing it too much. You can always find, little things to fine tune or give them something else to up their level
yeah.
or challenge them. Like, I mean, I've been doing it a lot with it. Like, tell me why. Like I
Mm,
did, we were talking about rowing defense.
mm,
No, not rowing defense, but why I would not throw a side kick when the person's in front of me.
right,
Why I
right,
would not turn and give to a side kick position, because you can do that from our fighting stance. Martial arts would do it from a full-on back stance, quote unquote, or just think ninja fighting.
yeah.
Um, you're giving up your back
Yeah.
when you're facing them and turning to throw a side kick.
Mm,
Now, if that lands, you gave up your back. You might as well stay facing there. But I'm like, tell me why.
yeah.
Orange belt, you're the highest one in this class. Tell me why. Oh, yellow belt, tell me why. And challenging, like, do that to the higher level kids. Like, why?
Sure.
Like, challenge them from a coaching standpoint. Or, some of our teens, like, okay, guys, show us Kimura, break it down. And now, they can physically do it, but they cannot teach it.
Shit, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like a lot of whatever athletes, they're phenomenal. Oh my gosh, they're going to be a coach, and they suck at coaching.
Yeah. And
And sometimes that gifted person, they're not always the best coach because they
yeah.
didn't go through the struggle
Mm, mm,
in
yeah.
some ways. And that's, not always true, but a lot of those like gifted people, sometimes they don't make the connection with struggling through it. They're like, yeah, just do this. And you're like, what? Just do
Yeah.
that?
I
Can
can
you help
barely.
me a little bit
Right.
more than just do this? Can you break it down more and help that person that's not as athletic as you?
Yeah. The hike.
And
Yeah.
somebody that struggled knows the struggle. The
Yeah.
struggle's real.
I had to put in 1,000 draws. I had to put in 1,000 moves. Right. There's just some people that have such kinetic intelligence. You show it to them once, and it's just I don't have that. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I
you're
don't have
just
that
gonna
level
do
of
it, do it.
intelligence. So I always wondered what it'd be like as a coach when you run into that, because you want to be like, stick with it, keep going. You're doing a great job, but you can't alienate their ego. I guess you'd say you don't want them to become the one that thinks they're the biggest,
I'm
baddest one in
awesome.
the
Yeah.
room. Yeah.
Like, check your ego.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully you can find somebody that can check it, or, move it up.
Somebody will eventually.
Move them up to the older kids class, or,
Yeah.
like, I've got a little guy, you should go with some of the bigger guys sometimes, just because
Yeah.
you're really, he's aggressive, he's athletic. Like, yeah, go with the upper guy. You're
Yeah.
like the guys your age, you're above them a little bit. So
Yeah.
hey, train with the older guys and stop dominating.
Right. Yeah,
know,
because
okay.
now he'll learn that. Oh no, like there's more to do, right?
Yeah, we're like, oh great, you're a good orange belt. Well, work with some green belts.
Yeah, get up there.
There's always room for improvement. I think some people are like, I got this, and I'm just like, I don't got it.
So do you run into that with adults then? Like kids are different. Like you're trying not to like perpetuate a gross ego, we'll say. So what happens when adults come in and they think they know it all, or they're in that learning, or they may be naturals too. If you run into adults that are like,
Oh
just
yeah, I
have
mean sometimes that there's some people actually who's pre Ninja Boy back on Nantucket Island. This guy really good, and I'm like, this guy's gonna be phenomenal. And oh, girlfriend, oh, I'm in love, oh, I'm no longer coming to class. And you're like, who knows what happened to him? Maybe he got back into it. Somewhere else he moved. It was Nantucket Island, very transient. But I've seen gifted people and they just don't have it what it takes to stay on track.
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, you're super gifted. I try not to get excited. You're like, all right, let's see if you can make it a year.
Yeah.
Just because you're, gifted, or like, oh, this person could teach. They could be an instructor, and they don't make it for whatever reason. There's so many things of like, oh, tomorrow, oh, I got this girlfriend. I'm super in love now. And, you're giving up something for, oh, I'm in love. And, that's a hard thing to fight. But I'm like, stay on track. You got to have your life. You
Fight for your love. Fight for your love.
You get all caught up in things and you lose some of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's a give and take in relationships, and sometimes some take more than others give.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You just got to be into it. Actually, I remember it was Nantucket Island in the winter, and actually a girl that I always had a crush on in high school. After high school, I don't know what year it was, but I was definitely doing Taekwondo, and I started dating her. She's like, I think she said something to the fact like I wasn't hanging out. Like I had these nights. Maybe it was 2 nights, maybe 3, and I think she was a little aggravated that I wasn't hanging out with her. Do your own thing. Yeah. That's where it gets tough when, geez, you see people, in class and they get divorced. You're like, crap, who's getting Krav Maga? Who's sticking with it? Or I'm like, who's coming to a different class, guys?
You're not going to be hanging out in the same place anymore.
Can somebody adjust, or you come Monday, and you come Tuesday, and you're Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know, every other Saturday. You got to treat it like kids or something, but...
Oh, man. So I really should be saying, I wanted to be like, tomorrow's always the biggest lie, but have you played, like, marriage counselor? That's got to be real, right? Running a gym.
Yeah.
Or just counselor in general.
Yeah, we just had a guy walk in yesterday. He's like, oh, that separation's turning into more. I'm like, it's so hard. And, from whatever perspective, he unfortunately had walked in during a class. And I'm like, hey, Jamie had to go home. Her kid's not feeling good. And I could only kind of talk to him for a couple minutes, like as the people were drilling. But yeah, I'm like, well, we can put you on hold here for a month. There's policy. But I'm like, it's going to be good for you. Like, figure it out. You got to freaking pay for a freaking lawyer. Just, God, if people would just freaking be mutual and just keep those costs down. So many people freaking waste money on lawyers.
Yeah, you can usually work it out yourself, but lawyers get
so
involved.
hard.
I should have been a lawyer. They make money.
Vets, lawyers, yeah.
I wouldn't want to be like a divorce lawyer. It's got to be like
That's got to be a grind.
It's got to be the worst.
Like,
criminal law might be hard, but divorce stuff, like people say mean things.
Yeah,
when divorce starts, and you're like,
it's constantly day in and day out. That's got to wear. It's like law enforcement dealing with just the low end of the population.
Yeah.
It just has to wear on you. You got to find something to reset yourself and not getting caught up in everybody.
And make you really jaded with your own relationships.
Yeah, right. Like that lawyer, but yeah, tomorrow, next week.
Quit putting it off.
You just have to start. You're never gonna get any better, and you're just lying to yourself. You just suck.
You're not getting younger.
Like you're not getting younger. You don't know, and I just don't understand people's mindset of that.
Right.
I don't know. You want to get better at something, get up early. I want to get better at my pistol craft. I get up early.
Practice.
It doesn't get in the way of the rest of the day, because even owning a gym, You have to run the gym.
Yeah.
Like people forget, like you have to do the business aspect of it. Otherwise, you can't do the fun stuff. I think people are like, yeah, it's just all fun. You're like, no, it's a full freaking
Yeah.
time job. Then you have to hire social media people because we're
Right.
in 2023.
And then
Like you got to have social media presence, and then like we're sick of seeing John on the freaking Facebook.
And I know I convinced you in no time. I was like, you need this, and you said yeah, and then I mean I'm still here, so something's gone right. Or I'm just a really good convincer or a talker. Maybe that's
I
it.
think you're manipulating me.
Probably, you know.
Like,
I use a lot of psychology and stuff when I tell you, and then you just end up.
yeah, I mean, I still think I suck. So
You do.
I don't know.
But I do too. So.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, we do these things. You know, that's one of the things I've said. Like mentoring people, it's rewarding. Like all the hard stuff. Seeing people have breakthroughs and feeling better about themselves.
Yeah.
We try to, we want to keep them as safe as freaking possible.
Yeah.
And do, real stuff. But sometimes you're like, hey, you feel better. Isn't that just, that's good enough? Hey, you're doing Kung Fu. Hey, if you feel better about yourself, you feel confident, great. That's going to get you through so much of life. Is it the most practical thing in my opinion? No. It's just like competition-based martial arts. It's where I almost, I thought of it yesterday after the stuff we did, and I'm always like, oh God, how do I sound? You're always making somebody mad, but look, when somebody goes into any gym, but especially like a MMA or BJJ gym, and the ex-Krav Maga, the current Krav Maga student goes there, and they got their butt handed to them. Were they doing Krav Maga? Were they doing street fighting? Mm-hmm. Probably not by like, a ginormous percentage because it's against the rules and people are generally nice and they don't want to come into your house and not play by the rules kind of thing. It's like where I tell kids, like, stop running around with cookies all around the gym, your bars. I pay somebody to clean. Do you want me to come in your room and mess it all up? No, you can't do that. I'm like, then don't come into my house. Yeah. Don't come into my gym and disrespect it by thrumming up the whole place, little kids. But, I try not to let it bother me as much as it did when I was younger. But I still like, hey, come on. The adults don't want, there's cookies on the ground.
Right.
Or
we got to roll around in this.
Like, come on, guys. Like, I know you're kids, but I do a $1,000 fine for toenails or fingernails on the ground.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, like, isn't it disgusting? The little kids look at, there's a girl playing with her nails, and I'm like, we're at Huddle Up. I know you're fidgeting and kids in there, but I'm like, when they're playing with their nose or their toes, I'm like, guys, stop picking your nose. And somebody's like, what? Somebody's picking their nose. I'm like, yeah, stop picking your nose. You're choking people. Nobody wants your finger up your nose and your freaking nasty toes. But I'm like, the adults don't want toenails when they're doing push-ups. I'm like, I will Cinderella you. And they're like, what? I'm like, I will match up your toenail, your fingernail to you, and it's $1,000 fine. Or you can pay it in burpees. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of nail salons.
Right.
Go to a nail salon. Or better yet,
excuse yourself.
You elementary school kids need to learn hygiene. And you're getting bigger. Ask your parents to help you learn how to trim your own nails.
Yeah.
Whereas mom and dad, stop biting or peeling off a freaking giant clamshell. Oh, the clamshells. Oh my gosh. We used to have a guy that was like...
Clamshell? What's a clam? Like...
You're freaking... Well, Nantucket, like a giant shell.
Yeah.
Clam.
Yeah.
They're generally pretty big. Like, especially martial arts, you're like, dude, what's up with your toenails?
That's so
like,
gross.
Don't kick me with that clamshell. You're gonna
sharp.
You're gonna cut me. And the other thing is, if you land it wrong and you crack your nail,
it's gonna bust up.
That just stinks. But you're like, don't freaking come at me with those freaking claws.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Like, it's etiquette, Marshall. It's like, keep your nails trimmed, like you're freaking, doing something, and it goes up somebody's nose and it cuts. I mean, I don't know. It actually just happened yesterday, but stuff happens. But you're like, I didn't examine anybody's nails in the adult class, or did I think like, oh, you got a finger up your nose? Oh, crap.
That hurts.
Yeah. But where was I going with that?
I
Before
don't know. I
went on
got
that
totally
rant?
distracted by
The clamshell. Oh yeah,
clamshell, the
clamshell.
toes.
Oh my God, he was spooky something. But he used to do ghost tours on Nantucket, and remember my buddy Jack Marshall, my first Krav Maga assistant. We saw him on the streets of Nantucket giving his tour, and I guess it was after because we didn't mess him with the tour, but one time we snuck up on him from behind as he was walking down this side street downtown Nantucket, and we scooped him up from behind, lift him off his feet, and he was like, "Ooh!" A little bit like Bill did the other day, and then we just dropped him and just cracked up. Like, he's got himself all freaked out walking around.
It's a ghost!
It's a ghost! Like a pick him off the ground. And we're like, oh, where was your martial arts skills there? But oh god, yeah, that guy was. But we was like, dude, you gotta trim your nails.
Yeah.
But
Gym
we're
etiquette.
on kids. I don't know. You can rewind the podcast what we were talking about, but probably something on mentoring
And tomorrow's the ultimate.
yeah,
lie.
it's the ultimate lie. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Try your best. I've been trying to think like, okay, did I do okay today? And it's usually not. I don't know. I'm like, I usually screwed something up.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm always like, I guess, I'll rehash classes. Was that the right thing to say? Or, did I do the right thing parenting? I don't freaking know, but sometimes I'm trying to like, I don't know. Was I trying my best at the moment or doing what I thought was there? My wife might not think it was the best, but I'm like, I don't know. If I died, was it okay?
Yeah.
If I don't wake up, was it okay?
Yeah.
And trying to sleep better of going, okay, yeah, I tried my best. That's all you can freaking do.
Right.
Right? Just
embrace the decision.
I was doing what I thought was right in the moment. Whatever. Was it wrong? Probably like 90% of the time. I don't know. It's probably wrong.
What's right half the time, right?
I don't know.
I just make choices. We do a lot of the training here at our Citizen Defender. And a lot of the times I just tell people, you just got to make a choice, right? Is it right or wrong?
Don't hesitate.
I don't know. Just choose in that moment. Try to come up with something, right? I mean, if it's right or wrong, I'd rather have you alive and making a choice than dead not making one. In those scenarios, it's a lot more extreme, right? But the same thing happens on the street, or at least when raising your kids. You've just got to make a choice in that moment. Can you go back and fix things later? Yeah, you can, unless, that choice is really, really extreme. But for the most part, things can be fixed. But embrace the choice, right?
Yeah.
Embrace the choice.
Yeah, it's kids and this entitlement and that. And I look back, as a kid of the 70s, and I'm like, geez, I don't know. Even in high school, I guess I cleared the table sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I'm entitled. I don't think I deserve much. People freaking back to Oliver Anthony. People freaking milking the freaking system. I'm just so sick of these entitlement programs. But, I'm like thinking about myself and just how you parent. I don't think I grew up super entitled to stuff. And was I doing a ton? I was playing sports and I probably did stuff. I don't know. Crap, I don't even remember making my bed. I guess sometimes maybe.
Yeah.
Well, make your bed. You're probably going to
Just do
kick on
chores.
clean your room. I did always like a clean room. I don't think my room was ever a nasty pigsty with stuff all over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my
I
mom
could still
picked
walk
up
the
the
floor.
crap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But do I feel like I'm entitled? There's so many ways to parent. So many ways to coach. So many ways to get there. But, I just think you just need to write it down. Do something. You just got to stop putting it off. I'm like, why are you clicking on my ad? Why did you say you were going to start walking the dog every morning and then make a friggin' excuse that you're tired? I'm freaking tired every day. Mm-hmm. My watch tells me my body battery is low or 50%. Or God, last night it was at 5. And I still couldn't fall asleep. But because I watched the end of the debate, probably. Should have just read a book.
Yeah, put yourself to sleep the old-fashioned way.
Write it down. You got to get after it. Like, stop clicking on ads. Stop telling you're going to do stuff. Stop going like, who?
Well,
What? Who is this? You clicked on my ad. You don't have the mental recall. Did you not even read it? It was something I'm like, God, people don't even read stuff.
Yeah. Did they
anymore.
click on the ad to make themselves feel better so they think tomorrow I'll do it?
Maybe.
That's kind of what happened.
I don't know.
Like when I started with you, like I remember same thing happened to me. I click on the ad. I actually put my
You
stuff
put
in
in your
information.
info.
I thought tomorrow I'll talk to this guy. As soon as I send it in there, I'm walking away from something. My phone rings, and it's you. And you would convince you're like come in tomorrow. You have to come in tomorrow. And I think I did. I can't remember if it was the next day or not. And I mean, you kind of kept giving me that speech. You're like, you just can't put it off because if not, you're still just going to decide where you
You're
want to do
interested
it.
in doing it. Just start. I'll get in shape. No, don't.
Yeah, we'll get in shape together.
I tell them, like, you're never going to get in shape.
Right.
You're not in shape now, so don't tell me you're going to start.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just so much. Like, you got to prioritize. We can only all do so much. Like,
Find it though. Find it.
You just have to figure it out. Get up early. I've told people, like, come to our, one of our morning things. Come to the noon class. Tell your boss, like, hey, I'm going to work 2 hours later. Does it really freaking matter? I mean, some jobs, yes.
And others,
But
as long as
others,
you show up.
you're like, hey, just get your stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like Jamie's like, hey, he's not feeling good. Can I, I don't have to physically be here to teach anything. Do you care if I'm here? No, go.
Take care of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, go home, get your kid home, and work from home.
Right. Plus, I don't want a sick kid all over the place. I mean, that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, right?
Yeah, go get him home, and that's one of the things here. You're like, okay,
right?
I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm running late, you're like, well, where's John? Well, I don't have to be here. Just do things.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I usually just call. Like, am I gonna have to shoot with him today? Because if he's not gonna be here, I'm gonna go. Right?
I'm out of here. Yeah, I mean, I try to be
so
here.
I will say something. Like yesterday, a guy came in, and when he left, I told him like the place changed my life. Right?
Yeah.
And so this is a credit to you and the gym. It really did because I would still be just sitting at home, doing nothing with myself. Just trying to find work or whatever. But I wanted more in life. And I wasn't getting it, just sitting there.
Yeah,
but
you're so much.
you've given me
fulfilled.
something, is what
Thanks.
I'm saying here, and it's made me feel really, really good, man. I mean,
that's why that's why sometimes I'm mentally exhausted at the end of the day, and I don't teach as many classes as I used to, but I still teach a lot and work a lot.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worth it. Running a gym. I always say, I mean, if I stayed. Being a contractor, I'd have more money in the bank. Like your small business, you're like constantly investing in the business, and people just think you're pulling money out, and like it's like that Restaurant Impossible. Like, oh my gosh, they're freaking in debt. Like people don't realize what it takes to start a small business and
to keep it going.
Sometimes you're freaking lucky on starting, and then you're like, wow, that's freaking awesome. My wife's HR consulting business, I don't think she spent $1 on advertising yet, and I'm like,
fantastic.
That's freaking, I'm like, I wish I didn't spend $1.
Right.
I mean, just on Google alone, let alone Facebook and Instagram, and any other outside marketing that we'll do, from magazines to whatever on occasion. But I'm like, you're lucky.
Right. It
Like,
makes
somebody, you
well
have
the
to
first time.
invest so much into it that if you started a business and you're just like, she has a website that I did for her, I guess I could charge her for that, and then she spent some money on advertising, but
Well, I don't know. Like, if
Could
you were
be
to hand her a
write-off.
bill for
Could
that
be that
one,
almighty write-off.
she might have just beat you up for that one.
She can't beat me up, Josh. She'll put me in her clamshell thing or whatever. She
Lobster claw.
Lobster claw. Sorry,
Lobster claw.
She does She does it with her legs.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's her attack.
You do kind of select the people you want at the gym for the most part. You get good people, right?
Yeah,
And
we
that's
try to, figure that out. Is that person ego? What
Right.
type of person are they? I
Is
mean,
this
we
just a
have
fit
a
for you? I mean, that's the first thing you do is the way you guys evaluate. And if there's not a fit, you have no problem saying, "Hey, I just don't think this is going to work for you."
yeah. I mean, it's our current promotion. I don't want to do it. You know, Jamie tried to work around, like add a T-shirt to this 30 days free. I'm like, Jamie, if we charge him $30 for the T-shirt, it's not free.
Right.
And the only reason we started doing it because you're just like, other gyms in Castle Rock are offering this free 30 days. Now you're gonna get some people just looking for free, and but now they're sapping up your instructors, and you know the only way you can do that really is how we're doing it is like apply. Are you a good fit?
Yeah.
And if you don't sound like you're a good fit, you know it's 30 days free. Apply. It's not guaranteed. I'm not
Yeah.
like you're a freaking bonehead.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my gym.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? I mean,
Like, guess what? It's 30 days free. Do you have a nice friend?
right. Bring them
I'm going
in.
to interview your wife. But you sound like an ass.
Right. And
Like,
that's
I
good
don't
to know.
need you at my gym. I don't need you in my life, let alone in my gym.
Yeah.
You know, that you're going to mess up our whole community here. You're in it for the wrong reasons. We're all about community at RMSDF.
True story.
So we want nice people.
Yeah.
And if we're going to mentor you and help you along that path, you've got it. Like one of the best things in a lot of things is like check your ego at the door.
Yeah.
I can be better when somebody like the guy, you know, I was trying to motivate that had applied for it, and he's an older guy and he's a widower, and I'm trying to like, hey, we got great community here. If you're not motivated and oh, things are tough as a widower, get out of the house and do something. Just get off the Xbox. It's like these kids, like the phone is the get off this thing is the other, like get off this stupid thing.
Good luck. Yeah, you have to.
It's the
Man.
best and it's the worst. It's the best freaking thing and it's the freaking worst thing at the same time. It's sucking up your time. Kids are on it. It's like get out and play. Get out and do stuff. And we're getting away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. But this guy, you know, I'm like, well, we've got this citizen defender program. Well, I was a firearms instructor.
Oh, here we go.
Like, all right, yeah, great. Come on, like, come in and try it. Or you just set in your mindset of like, yeah, I got this shit figured out. I'm a firearms instructor. Oh, I did this course. Could you learn something from another course and pull? That's why I love Todd Fossey and what we do. And, you know, I said, like, here in Castle Rock, we're trying to bring the best people, give the best to the people that come into our gym.
Mm-hmm.
We want to give you guys the best stuff. We're not following somebody off the internet, trying to hack stuff
Right.
off the internet. No, we're paying to be an affiliate of Todd Fossey and give the best stuff.
Yeah.
And he's always, hey, if you don't like something, don't use it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit your gym, it doesn't
Plug and
fit
play.
your philosophy, it's a plug and play system. And that was one reason that drew me in. It doesn't matter your martial art. Come on in here and do it. But you get somebody with this fixed mindset of going, I'm a firearms instructor. And I'm like, well, we can do stuff that you can't do at the range with live fire, and we can test things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and on to the next thing. You're sounding I want to help you,
Yeah.
but you're sounding less and less like a good candidate.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I just left it with this guy of like, hey, well, check out the website.
Good luck. I mean,
Check it out. Like, dude, why'd you click on the ad? There was something there. I want to
Right.
help you, but
there's something.
your
Yeah.
sound fixed, and I don't know if I can spend any more time with you because I'm just wasting the time.
Yeah.
Like I could move on. It's like sometimes like people want all the answers on the first day, and sometimes I just have to be like, look, just sign up.
Yeah, just
You
get
want all
started.
these answers.
Get started.
Like I had a guy in law enforcement way back when the Aurora location. The guy was coming in and he was taking notes he had gone to Krav Maga law enforcement training, and he was taking notes on my class. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think it was the second time, maybe third, but it didn't get past the third. I'm like, hey, are you interested in signing up? No, I just want to take notes.
Well, pay
I'm
for
like,
that.
everybody else is paying, so you can pay
Or you can leave.
or you can leave. Yeah, is what I tell them. Like, everybody else here, and like people in the class, like, had kind of stopped. I'm like, these people are paying.
Yeah.
You can't sit here
It's like stealing.
and you want my info, you want my drills to bring back to, and you got to pay for it. I mean, we had a fantastic guy that, you know, in the Castle Rock location that trained with us for years that was a Douglas County defensive tactics instructor. And he was like, I was, you know, Les always took notes, and he's like, I take these drills down. I'm like, wow, you take notes on the shit I say? That's awesome. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's flattering. But they say like good things to take back, but you're a student. It's like when people, you know, it's tough. Like people hack off the internet. You know, people used to teach off the Krav Maga book years ago. When that Krav Maga book came out, instructors were pissed because it was essentially the Krav Maga manual for Krav Maga worldwide. People were like, what the F? There's better pictures in this one.
Yeah.
But you're still not getting that in person. You're still not getting that contact.
Yeah.
Is everything there? No. But a lot of it was, but you're still misunderstanding the technique. It was like what the technique from Todd that you kind of like, oh, wait, I think you're holding on to that, controlling the head for too long. And you're like, bingo. Holy shit, Josh.
I got one.
Holy shit. Josh
He's
figured
finally
one
got
out.
something.
Holy crap, there's 2 black belts here. And freaking Josh. He freaking
Hey,
figured
even
something out.
sunshine.
Of like, okay, hey, there's something we're doing wrong. And I've been to the class, and I've got Todd's video.
Yeah.
So when people hack stuff off the internet, you're like, is it okay? Yes and no. Yes and no. Todd Fossey.
But that's how you
Yes
make
and
your
no.
that's how you make your living, and it's respect to pay that person for that skill.
Yeah. And
That's why I find it like you've spent all this time learning what you know. I'm going to pay you to teach me what you know out of that respect.
well, that's, yeah. I mean, that's why I try to bring the best things to my gym and be, you know, self-defense. Yeah. We are about fighting, not a competition. It's back to like the student that comes in and goes into another gym and like, oh, Krav Maga sucks. Well, I didn't freaking gouge your eye out.
Right.
I didn't bite you. I didn't pull a knife.
Right. And
Like
take
they're
it
so
those
like
up.
God, fighting is so hard. Whatever it is, boxing, Muay Thai, BJJ, wrestling, it is all hard and takes training. Never mind, like what the crap that can happen to you out on the street. You got jumped by their friend. That's why we do rover drills here. It's really like have people pull a weapon. It is so different. And when you get caught up in this is awesome and I can kick your butt, but I'm playing by your rules. Nobody on the street is playing by your rules.
Nope.
And like we say, I am not a willing participant out on the street. If I am down on the ground rolling with somebody out in the street, shit has gone wrong.
Yeah. It's gone so
I did not
fast.
want to do that. Because if somebody's like, hey, roll with me, I'd be like, I've got a gym with mats. Let's test our skill on the mats, because why do we want to roll around in the Home Depot parking lot? We're going to get all effed up.
Right.
Right? It's
gonna hurt.
Somebody's like challenging you, like, let's go on the ground right now. Like, let's be smart and train safe.
Yeah. Meet me at my gym.
So I'm not a willing participant out there. And I want to get out of there as soon as I can. And that's easier said than done.
Yeah, that's why you train it.
Or did I say that wrong? Easier said than done.
It's easier. Yeah, no, you got it right.
It's freaking hard. Fighting is hard.
Breathing during fighting is hard. Just breathing.
Yeah, not hyperventilating, not getting claustrophobic in the ground
Getting
fight in
gassed
the
out
clinch.
super quick.
Yeah, maintain. There's so much to it, but we're about self-defense and fighting. You know, that's what the clear sky.
Clear sky.
We should wrap it up. The Clear Sky training site is all about.
Yeah.
So, listen, people, you gotta suck less. You gotta stop putting things off until tomorrow. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Josh is telling me to wrap it up, so you get out there. I appreciate it if you made it this far. Josh is trying to hit the big payday. So we got to get big. So share this with a friend because he's looking for a big payday. I kind of feel these hints like, well, how much does Rogan's staff get paid? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's one, just like mine. I've got a staff of one doing the podcast. And if we want to include Jamie in that, we've got 2. All right, guys. Josh is never going to hit a payday. I suck. Try to get better. Don't tell me to shh.